stage.
Thank you very much.
And I want to let you know that Roseanne is feeling, she caught a cold and she made a point of coming because she didn't want to miss it, and she told me why. Do you want to tell them? Why you had to come? You said you had to come because you hate the...
Oh. I had to come because I gave my word that I would come, but also it's a great chance to bitch about how much I hate BDSers.
So how much do you hate BDS and why?
Well, I hate everything that's a lie based on anti-Semitism. And, you know, I'm a Jew. That's why.
But there are a lot of Jews who aren't that fierce about that. What?
I know, it's very sad. It's, you know, did you want me to talk about that? Jews who are against other Jews has always been our problem since the first story in Torah. So maybe this time we could do something about it and change it. We need to love each other. Jews need to love each other. And it has to stop because it threatens our existence every time.
And you asked me, you said you want to talk about Judaism.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't want to talk too much about politics and stuff. But, you know, because I guess I know some about politics, but I just love...
We'll get to that, I promise you.
I just love Judaism, and I always like to talk about it. Since I was little, I loved to talk about Judaism, and everyone gets really bored, and they don't want to hear it. So I thought, well, maybe this would be a place where I could speak as a Jew. And I like to speak as a Jew. It's fun. Being a Jew is really fun. I first of all want to say that. It's true.
What do you like about being a Jew?
Oh, I just love the places your brain can go when you study, when you study Torah, the different levels and places that your brains can travel in this huge universe, and the possibilities of intelligence and how to manifest intelligence and all those things that we learn. I love studying, and I love talking about it. I just love beholding it. It's just a fantastic, I don't know, I'd say religion, but practice. And I do meditation, Jewish meditation as well. And I love that too. And it's just wonderful. It's fun and wonderful. And I love the food. And the people, I love the people.
Are you a good Jewish cook? I mean, do you cook good Jewish food?
Yeah, I cook real good Jewish food, I think. I have
What's your favorite?
6 grandkids, and they all seem to like it.
What do you make, the soup?
Well, I do make a good matzo ball chicken soup. I do. I make an excellent lentil soup. I can make anything. I'm really a good cook. I was kind of a mother since I was 5 years old. I kind of was the oldest daughter in a Orthodox Jewish home, and, you have to, learn a lot about cooking and cleaning and such like that. So I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm good at it. I make a heck of a good roast.
Can we all come and try it someday?
Someday I'll cook I should do a big cook for a whole bunch of people. I'd love it.
That could be your next show. That could be the Roseanne.
I know. I'm always thinking of doing a cooking show. Because, around the table, especially in our Jewish culture, around the table where we eat is where we dissect the world and our culture and everything else. It's a wonderful place.
Yeah, it's always about food, isn't it? At the
yeah.
end of the day. And I know that you have been to Israel 3 times. The last time you came for a BDS conference.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, well, once it was so exciting because my mother, who's 84, she never had been to Israel. And because she never really traveled much of any time. So I brought my mom with me, and, it was just very moving and wonderful. And then I was able to address that conference, and it was fun. I was writing till the last minute when I walked on stage. I couldn't get it out of my head. It was like a 36-hour speech where I didn't sleep, and I was just writing, feeling it. And delivering it was wonderful. And it was just a great memory. And then we got to go to the Knesset, and my mother, she's a very pushy Jewish woman too, and she sat in the not the prime minister but the president's thing and asked him if she could smack down his gavel.
Speaker of the Knesset.
Yes, the speaker. And so he allowed that, and she was just thrilled. It was just wonderful.
What did you do in Israel? I sat on the speaker's bench and just...
I went to the hospital to meet the kids, and I accidentally, the Hadassah hospital, and it's a wonderful... But I accidentally wandered into this little girl's room because we were giving kids toys, and I wandered into a little girl's room and gave her a toy, and she was under... What is it when you're not supposed to go around them?
Quarantine.
Yeah, quarantine. And I wandered in there, and then they figured out where I was, and they came running after me, and I got so sick. Oh, my God. They thought they were going to have to get a helicopter and take me out of my hotel to a hospital. I got, dysentery, I guess.
No wonder you remember that trip to Israel.
No, but I do remember it for that, but I remember to see my mother... praying at the wall. That was very wonderful.
Speaking about BDS, I wanted to hear about your take of the Natalie Portman story. There have been voices saying that actress Natalie Portman, who just pulled out of it a special award because of what she said, recent events in Israel, and snubbed Prime Minister Netanyahu, actually served the anti-Israeli movements. And she said, no, this is not, I'm speaking for myself, I can love Israel and still criticize its leaders.
Well, I asked a lot of Israeli friends what they thought, and they said, they wish she would have said it in Israel. Because Israel is a country where dissent is allowed, and to go out of your country, like if I was to go to France and say something about, that's kind of, it's not the bravest way of doing it. And also I think it plays into, they're thanking her today.
The BDS.
Yeah. But I get, whatever, we have to figure a way to talk to each other and stand together. And I think that that day's coming.
Because, there are people saying also in Israel that we should listen to what Natalie Portman's saying, because she's representing the new, young, liberal generation of the American Jewry, and they're, by numbers, the largest part.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it seems that way. But we have to be able to talk to the young people in America because they're way off. They're way out there. And we have to figure out a way to reach them instead of turning them off, you know what I mean? I happen to think that Judaism is the way. That's what I think. That's
what would you say to her? How would you convince her? What would be your argument? What would you think needs to be said?
Well, first I would make her a lovely meal. That always starts everything peaceful. And then I would just talk to her about Jewish history and Torah. Because I think that those are the things that bring people back and wake people up. And I do it a lot. I teach. And these kids are always a little shocked to hear that, what? That's in there? But it is in there. And, we need to rescue it and talk about it more. When I first started to fight BDS, it was at San Francisco, and I just wanted to go up and talk about Jewish history and Torah and our connection to this piece of land that we've had for thousands of years, and that's our land, and they don't know anything about, I'm telling you the truth, they know very little about it. They think it's something that happened in the 40s. They're not really all that educated. And when I would tell them, well, do you know it says this and that? Do you know you're looking at the greatest recorded rebellion of a slave class of people that's ever been written. They don't know anything about that either. And it's sad because this is our heritage, and so to speak about it, I think is very liberating and also very unifying. It's a great story.
Let's talk about politics.
Okay.
Any chance?
I thought we were.
Just any chance that you might try again? Because you
to run for president?
Yes?
I want to move to Israel and run for prime minister. I do. I always said that in 2012, I said I was going to run for president of the United States and prime minister of Israel, a twofer. But, I do have that fantasy, and I had it, who knows if I'll ever. But, I mean, if God calls me, I'll go, of course. But I've had the fantasy.
Have you told that to our prime minister, Netanyahu? Does he know that he's going to? Because I think you have a good chance if you come, right? Am I right?
A lot of people, a lot of people really love Bibi, and, he's a lot of people consider him, a lot of people really love him. And I guess a lot of people don't. But,
so, you're done with the United States politics. You're looking into Israeli
politics. I want to make Aliyah. I do.
Wow.
Because before all the stuff is sold.
All the real estate.
Yeah, all the real estate is sold. I want to get a nice house.
I want to make sure I got it. Roseanne Barr is considering Aliyah.
I always have been considering it.
But now you want to do it because you're afraid there will be no more houses left.
Well, yeah, plus I'm 65 years old, so I'm running out of time to do what I always dreamed of doing, was to be living there and be able to study the things that excite me, which, when I went to Israel, I was going to tell you, remember I told you I was going to tell this. Well, the first time when I went to Israel in 1998, I went to every single mikvah in all of Israel. And
there are many
fantastic.
More that you can visit now, so if you come. But, if you wanted to come and retire in Israel and even maybe run for prime minister, why did you go back on air? You're so busy with your successful show. Isn't it amazing, the rating of the comeback?
Thank you.
It's a record. You broke the record for...
I know, it blows my mind. But, I still have the fantasy of being an old Jewish lady living in the Jewish homeland.
But now they ordered
so someday
another year,
I will
right?
do it.
Now they want another year. It was a nine
Yeah, I signed for another year, but you never know what's going to happen. That's why maybe I'll just go there in the summer. But I got to get a place. If there's any is anyone here into real estate? No, I'm just kidding. No, but I do. I want to buy a farm there, maybe bring my family. I love to farm.
Wow, that's great. We want to see you. Speaking about your show and politics, you got a call from the president after the debut.
Oh, my God, I did.
Tell us about it.
Well,
he was on the phone or said we're going to pass
they said, hold, please, for the president of the United States.
Where were you when you got the call?
I was in my hotel room. And I'd been waiting all day because they said he is going to call, and I was like, oh, my God. But, I've met him several times when he was just a civilian or whatever you call it, not the president, just a show business person. And he's always been very nice to me in show business. He was one of the few people in show business who would make a guest appearance on any show I was on, so... I appreciate that's a certain kind of loyalty. But anyway, here's what he said. Congratulations on the ratings, because he's really into ratings like I am. He's really into ratings and the demographics of the ratings, which I'm into, too, because they're mind-blowing. Because they have all these subgroups, and it's like if you do well in this subgroup and you don't do well, it's very interesting. And then I said, Mr. President, on behalf of my mother, I want to thank you. And I said all the Jewish people, too. I said, because, what are you going to, you got to say it if you got a chance, right? So I go, for moving the embassy to Jerusalem, thank you so much. And And he said, well, a lot of presidents have promised it, but, I wanted to get it done. And I said, well, we're so happy. I think it's the first step to peace in the world. I really do.
And after all, Roseanne on the show is a Trump supporter, so.
Yeah, well, I wanted to, I didn't have Roseanne, the character, become a Trump supporter because I am. I had her become a Trump supporter because she's a working class person, and that is the working class that elected Donald Trump. So in being true to that little demographic, I had to do it. And besides, if I just wanted someone to do it, and none of the other actors, they were like, no way. So, it ended
Someone's got to do
me.
it.
Well, somebody has to voice what 63% of the American population thinks. And growing by the day.
Finally, let me get this clear. We have you coming to Israel. We have you making Aliyah to Israel. We have you running for prime minister.
Well, that's if God wants me to.
And I have an invitation. We all have an invitation for a Jewish dinner at your place.
You know what? I should do a thing, some kind of thing like Willie Nelson used to do down in Texas. He'd have a big barbecue for everyone in his town. But I should have a big Pesach for all the Jewish people that want to come and taste my delicious food, because I'm telling you, I'm a hell of a cook.
Roseanne Barr, you're a hell of a person also, and a great actor.
Thank
and a great
you.
show.
It was so fun to talk with you.
Thank you so much.
Personally killed Palestinians.
I have not killed Palestinians.
You're complicit in the death of.
Can I explain what I did?